Hey, been a hot minute. It's been hectic. I'm married now, which is awesome. It's like being engaged and dating, but now we're married. After 6 years, it's about time. But, yep, I'm married now. I am now Angela Wilbert. That's been an adventure at my job. Because getting my name changed, I can see why women, after having a divorce or maybe even widowed, I can see why they just say, nope, I'm keeping my name. Because it's such a racket. But yeah, there's that. Teaching's been interesting. Kindergarten, man. They're an interesting bunch. Like, geez, my first week, I had a little one get really upset. I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know my name. Because that day, it was music teacher. Music teacher! Yeah? They keep saying they're cousins, but they're not! Sorry? I wish that was the only problem that was living in my head rent-free. So trivial. It's like, why are you getting so bent about this? They won't stop! Sorry. Yeah, I've had some interesting concerns for sure. Kindergarten's rough. Some of them, it just makes you wonder, what's going on at home that makes you this way? Yeah, I've been praying for patience a lot. Because with those really, really little ones, it's tough because you have to be patient. Because there's a high chance a lot of them don't get much structure at home, so they come to school and it's very structured, so they're just like in shock because they don't know what to do. So it's like, oh, well, and the tough thing is they see me twice a week, and I don't know, just every time they act like my room is foreign. It's like, it's really not foreign. You've been here before, I promise. Yeah. I've heard my name pronounced in many different ways. Although last I checked my birth certificate and my current social security card, it doesn't say music teacher. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. There are worse things I could be. Yeah, I've heard Mrs. Wilson, Mrs. Willoughby, Mrs. Music Teacher, like I said. I've heard of Mr. Wilbert a couple of times. Sometimes kiddos don't get the T, and thankfully, from what I've gathered, not a ton of them have seen or read. Like, none of them have seen or read Charlotte's Web, which, thank God. Ugh. Josh, my husband, he said that kids would tease him all the time and call him Wilbur. Like Wilbur the pig. Oh, man, I'm so glad that hasn't happened to me yet. But I've heard a lot of mispronunciations. It's been interesting. Mrs. Teacher, or they'll call me their classroom teacher names, and I'm like, nope, Mrs. Wilbert. Try again. So, yeah, that's been interesting. Married life, it's kind of wonky. People give me the weird look all the time when I say mine and Josh's situation, because he works in the town where I went to high school. I work in the town where he went to high school. He's funny. He's like, Why do girls from Camera always go back to Camera? I'm like, yeah, dude, thanks a lot. It's whatever. We're done with our house, which is great because that was a fortune. We're not entirely done. We need to do our basement, which, not looking forward to that project. Need to do our garage too. Yeehaw. Had a flood in our basement in April. That was not nice. Ruined a bunch of my stuff. Not a bunch, but just enough to be sad. Yeah, just enjoying married life. Wedding was beautiful. It was gorgeous. Like, seriously. Although I've told people, I don't care if Josh drops dead within the next week. This was after the wedding. I don't care if he drops dead within the next week. I'm never getting married again. Because it was just, there's so much. Between the catering, between setup, between this, between that. It's like, I'm never getting married again. Ever. No. It's such a hassle. Honeymoon was great. We went to Ireland and oh my gosh, they don't call it the Emerald Island for no reason. My gosh, it's gorgeous. And then coming back to Wyoming to dirt, I was like, don't miss the dirt. Miss the green, not the dirt. It was really nice to be among green and not dirt. But it was a really good experience. Just meeting people there, like, anyone will talk to you. Which is nice, because, I mean, here in the States, that's weird. Especially in the western part of the States. Just anyone just up and talking to you. Here in the States, that's weird. But in Ireland, like, they'll talk to anybody. And it's not a big deal. And I'm like, man, I wish we could have that. But I know for a fact that if I were to just start initiating conversation with people at the table next to me when I go out for dinner, it'd make people uncomfortable, and I'm not about to do that. Excuse me. What else? Just, yeah, first year teaching, it's challenging. I have a couple of mentorship teams that I meet with on a regular basis. One of them asked, can everyone give a positive from this past week? So, it's a bunch of music teachers. They go around, get to me. I said, well, I'm not an alcoholic yet, so I guess there's that. And they said, yet. Nah, I do love my job. It's definitely challenging. Like, I've seen some really sad stuff already. Like, had a girl tell me that mom and dad always fight, and it just crushed me inside, because I was like, oh man, know what that's like. It's not fun. I had a kiddo tell me his dad passed out, and I was like, oh no, that's scary. So then he comes today and talks to me about it. I said, is your dad okay? He said, no, he died. I was like, oh, passed away, not passed out. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Another kiddo said he missed his best friend. And I'm like, oh, buddy, I miss mine too every day. My best friend being my husband. I'm just like, man, these kids, man, they go through some tough stuff. Another kiddo, their dog died. Another kiddo, her grandma died. I was just like, man, this is sad. This is really sad. I have a little girl who's going in for a heart surgery tomorrow, I think is what she said. So I'm like, oh, girl. That's scary. But I know what big surgeries are like, as we've seen on my channel. Like, oh my gosh, kids go through the craziest stuff. And it's like, how do you handle that? How do you, as a child, handle that? Because even as adults, thinking about all that, like, geez, when my grandpa died when I was finishing my associates, that was tough. Because, like, it was crushing. It really was. So I can only imagine how kids deal with it. Like, kid's dad just died. And it's like, what do you say to a first grader whose father just died? Man, that's tough. That's tough. Also, I got a new phone, which is why the quality is a lot better, because my other one was on its way out. Another challenging part of my teaching, I have lots of English learners, most of which speak Spanish. So I've been trying to really brush up on my Spanish, because I took Spanish 4 years in high school. Let's see, I graduated 2015. It's 2022. That has been 7 years without consistent language practice. So, synaptic pruning and seizures. Bad mix. Some of it has been coming back to me, but like, I'm just trying to know enough basics to keep my classroom functional. I know enough not to say cállate, which means shut up. Silencio is probably more polite, but yeah, I wouldn't just start shouting cállate at kids. Not a good idea. I'm really trying to work on like more directional phrases, like there or on that, mostly the floor. So en el piso, yeah, sí, en el piso. Well, like when I'm practicing stuff with the kids, like practicing my phrases, I look at them and I'm like, is that right? And they're like, I'm like, okay, good, because I feel stupid. But every day's an adventure. There's never a dull moment. Like I said, kindergarten has for sure been rough. And like, it just makes you wonder what the heck's going on at home. Like, especially the ones where you can get a pretty good sense that Apple is their babysitter. Don't get me started on that. It just makes my blood boil. Like, no, dude, raise your child. Raise your freaking child. Moving on. Yeah, my biggest challenge lately has just been focusing on engagement, keeping kids focused on the material. And another thing I've been really trying to drive home is keeping hands to ourselves, especially with the younger groups. Because they'll get each other all riled up and someone will get hurt. And then everyone's wondering why we're all mad. And I'm like, keep your hands to yourself. So, it's been challenging for sure. Josh has been so good, my husband. He's been so nice about supporting me through all this. Because he sent me the sweetest thing this morning. He's like, good morning to the best music teacher, something like that. Just something really sweet. I'm just like, yep, best music teacher, that's me, I think. Or like music teacher who's just doing her best. I think my biggest thing too is I'm really trying to drive in those expectations. And the more I look at things, the more I analyze things, it's like I need to set these a lot clearer, because those littles, they're not going to get it day one. The older groups, they have a pretty good idea of what the expectations are. It's just a matter of keeping it consistent throughout school, which makes it kind of tough. Yeah, and then I've got some gripes with my school district, but that's not the point of this video. All of us specials have gripes with the school district. It's no secret. But anyway. Yeah, that's pretty much it here. Just still trying to change my flippin' name. It's kind of tough because in the system, I'm still Smith. And there's another Smith in the main school I teach at. And she before I was hired on, before I got married, she's like, "Oh, cool, another Smith." And then they told her, "Oh, she's getting married." It's like, yeah, I'm ready to ditch Smith. It's kind of funny. My graduating class high school, there were 3 Smiths. None of us were related. We were not related at all. It was kind of interesting. That's being a Smith for you. Yeah. Now I'm Wilberts. Wilson. Willoughby. Music teacher. Teacher. Take your pick. People ask me, they see my name, Angela, and they ask me, "Do you go by Angie? Angela, what do you want?" I said, "You could call me stupid," and I'd probably respond. And they just look at me like, "Oh, okay." It's like, call me whatever you want. I don't care. So, that's all that's going on here. Just thriving. I'm learning something new every day as far as how to work things. I have a great support team, I will say that. I am very thankful for that, knowing that I've got people who can back me, people who can really guide me through things. Like, I've got a couple people I teach at 2 schools, by the way, because we need to hire another teacher in the district, but they won't do that. Anyway. We're all so mad with the district because, we're like, we have no break. We have no break to plan. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I teach at 2 schools. 1 room I share. I do have my own classroom. The other classroom is actually the art room. I share that. It's challenging. It'll get better, I hope. A lot of teachers have said that, yeah, this schedule has been screwy, and this is one of the worst schedules they've had, at least for the specials teachers. By specials, I mean art, PE, music, library. We're all getting shanked out here, but it's cool. That's just what I've been hearing anyway, and I'm like, I see it. I see it. Yeehaw. So, at least the insurance is good. At least the pay's good. Teacher in Wyoming, we actually get paid real big people money. Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to be done being boring. Not going to torment you the way I torment my elementary kids. Like I said, I'm really working on engagement. It's been tough. Because it's like, because I can see them zoning out and just not giving me the time of day. And I'm like, I'm trying to play games with y'all. I'm trying to get you up and moving. I'm doing my best here. Cut me a little slack, please. But it'll get better with time. But that's pretty much it. Yeehaw. Thanks for coming in. I know it's been a minute. But with what I've got going now, it's going to be a lot less frequent. I don't know. Maybe I'll post funny teaching stories. Yeah, it's a mess right now. Much like a lot of things in my life right now. But, yeah. Bye.